Hello once again, and we got some tragic news today at the passing of Sir Sean Connery. What a great actor he was. Obviously his iconic role was James Bond, the original James Bond that started in 1962, and his last film was 1971. We're not talking about Never Say Never Again, because that was not an official James Bond film, even though it was rivaling with Roger Moore's Octopussy. But you know, he was the one that got the ball rolling. He was the one had he had six films. He had six films, where Roger Moore had seven. So, but it all started with Sean Connery. I don't think James Bond would have existed if it wasn't for him. He was a terrific James Bond. Okay, this might be a bit controversial. Roger Moore was my favourite James Bond because maybe it was the era when it came out in the 70s when I was born and went to 85. I've already done a video about Roger Moore when he passed away. You know, but it's equally as sad when you got nostalgia for James Bond. You know, it was either Sean Connery, Roger Moore, obviously Timothy Dalton as well, because he led out the 80s. Yeah, but it is sad when someone, James Bond, you know, I like James Bond films, you know, so it's sad when, big part of movie history, you know, for me personally, and probably for a lot of people, passes away, you know. So yeah, sad time. I mean, 2020's been a fucking shit year anyway, but we're not talking about fucking bullshit. What's going on? We know what's going on, so no point talking about it. Yeah, but so I can't say. No, I enjoyed all of Sean Connery's James Bonds. Obviously, Dr. No started off, but that was all right. I mean, that's what started it. You know, to me, I can look back and watch it again. Yeah, that's not a bad James Bond. From Russia with Love, I couldn't really get into that too much. From Russia with Love. Then there was obviously Goldfinger. That's when the boom started. You know, that was the big one. That's where the first time we saw the Aston Martin, all the gadgets it had, and yeah. And what was the next one? Thunderball. I would say that was probably the most. Well, I really didn't like Thunderball. That's probably the worst Bond film. Probably the worst Sean Connery Bond film. Because I just found it too boring. But you know. That's just my personal opinion. Everyone's going to have different opinions at the end of the day. You know, this is my personal opinion before people start getting, Thunderball was great. Yeah, you might think it was great. I didn't. Let's not start an argument, eh? So what was after Thunderball? Wasn't that, oh God, I should know this. What was next after Thunderball? That would be, fuck's sake. You Only Live Twice, and I would say that was one of my favourite Sean Connery films. You Only Live Twice. Then he took a gap, then he quit, then he retired from James Bond, then we had George Lazenby, yeah. For Her Majesty's Secret Service, probably my worst James Bond film of all time. I mean, James Bond getting married? Come on. That just went a bit soppy. Nah. James Bond, no. James Bond doesn't get married. I'm sorry, we can't see him settle down, having kids, you know. No, that's not James Bond for me. No. And after that, 1971, Sean Connery came back to do Diamonds Are Forever, and that is another one of my favourite Sean Connery films. So, You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever. They were, I'd say, my two favourite Sean Connery Bond films. And let's not forget, he also played Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade, which was an absolutely brilliant film. and Sean Connery done fantastic in that. Brilliant, brilliant. I'm a big fan of the Indiana Jones films anyway. I mean, I thought the first three were absolutely fantastic films. The last one, Crystal Skull, whatever it's called, it's okay, but nah. I wouldn't have cared if it was made or not, to be honest with you. But the original trilogy. Anyway, we're not talking about Indiana Jones, you know. It's about Sean Connery. And what else did he do? No, there's a classic film that I've never seen, and people are going to think, you've never seen it? You've never seen it? No, I haven't seen it, and that would be Highlander. No, I have never, ever seen Highlander. Get the fuck over it. Deal with it. It's one of these fantasy films, and I'm not really particularly into fantasy type films. That's probably why I haven't seen it. Yes, I'm quite aware it's a classic. When people go on about it, it's a classic, it's a classic, it's a classic. Everyone should watch it. Yes, I know, I've heard all the crap before. Yes, and I haven't. And all I can say is I may get round to watching it. I don't know. It's one of these fantasy films that it's just never appealed to me. Let's put it that way. It's just never appealed to me, and that's why I haven't watched it. I heard the follow-up films were crap, so I might give the first Highlander a watch at some point. And I'm quite aware that it's got a blinding Queen soundtrack to it. And I mean, that's got to be worth watching just for that. I might get round to it. I know there's other films, I just can't think of it. But, you know, his famous was the James Bond films, the James Bond franchise, which is still going today. Yeah, it's gone downhill. We all know that. But everything is going to go downhill these days. You can't get away with what you could get away with back in the day. You know, everything's all tame and watered down. Everything to appeal to the fucking snowflakes these days. Yeah. But, you know, let's just remember the great times of Bond, you know, the Sean Connery days, the Roger Moore days, Pierce Brosnan days, yeah. People are going to say, what about George Lazenby? Yeah, I didn't like that film. So I couldn't give two fucks about it. Pierce Brosnan also made a good Bond, yeah, I know he did. But, you know, now Daniel Craig's film, yeah, they're just like an average movie to me. The Daniel Craig films, they're nothing Bondish about it. Yeah, but rest in peace, Sean Connery. Entertained me for a long, long time. You'd be greatly missed. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.